1 Kings chapter 2. وَيَقْرَبُ يَمَ David lamut, and the days of David drew near to die. وَيَثَوْ et Shlomo beno lemor, and he commanded Shlomo his son, saying, Anochi holech b'derech kol haaretz, I am one going in the way of all the earth. وَحَازَقْتَ وَحَيِّيتَ لَإِيشْ, and thou shalt be strong, and thou shalt show thyself for a man, or thou shalt be for a man. ושמרת את משמרת יהוה אלוהיך ללכת בדרכיו לשמור חוקותיו מצוותיו ומשפטיו ועדותיו ככתוב בתורת משה. And thou shalt keep the keeping of Yahweh thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, his commands, and his judgments, and his testimonies, like the thing written in the law of Moshe. L'maran tashakil et kol ater ta'asher, for the sake that thou prosper wisely all which thou effectuate, with the kol ater tifene tham, and all which thou turnest to there. L'maran yakim Yahweh devaro ater dibber alai lemor, im yishmeru banecha et darakam laleket lefanai behemet b'kol levavam ub'kol nafsham lemor lo yikaret lekaish me'al kiseh David. For the sake that Yahweh caused to stand his word, which he worded upon me, saying, If thy sons keep their way, to walk before my faces in truth, in all their heart, and in all their soul, saying, A man shall not be cut off for thee from upon the throne of Yisrael. וגם אתה ידעת את אתר עשה לי יואב בן צרויה, אתר עשה לפני שרי צבאות ישראל, לאבנר בן נר ולעמשה בן יתר ויהרגם. וישם דמי מלחמה b'shalom. And also thou hast known what Joab the son of Zeruiah effectuated to me, that he effectuated to the two princes of the hosts of Yisrael, to Abner son of Ner, and to Amashah the son of Yether, and he killed them. And he set the bloods of war in peace. Wayiten deme milhama bahagorato ater b'motanayu ubenalo ater beragalayu. And he gave the bloods of war in his belt, which was among his loins, and in his sandals, or his sandal, which was in his feet. وَعَشِيتَ كَحُكْمَتِكَ, and thou shalt effectuate according to thy wisdom. وَلَا تُرِدْ shevato b'shalom Sheol, and thou shalt not cause his grey hair to go down in peace to Sheol. ولبني برزيلاي هالجلعادي تعشى حسد. And to the sons of Barzillai the Gileadi thou shalt effectuate loving kindness. Wahayu behochele shulahanaka, and they shall be among the ones eating of thy table. Ki ken qarabu helai b'vorahi mipnei Abshalom achika, because thus they were near to me in my fleeing from before the faces of Abshalom thy brother. وهن إمك شمعي بن جيرة بن هيميني من بحوريم. And behold, with thee is Shimei the son of Gerah the Benyamini from Bahurim. Woohoo, Qilani Qalala Nimresat. And he vilified me with a sickening vilification. Biyom lekati Mahanayim, in the day of my going to Mahanayim. Wuhu yarad liqarahati mi Yordan, and he descended to meet me at the Yordan. Wa'eshava alo v'yahwa le'amor imhamitaka beharab, and I was sworn to him by Yahweh, saying, if I would kill thee by the sword. Wa'ata alatanakehu, and now hold him not guiltless. Ki ishahaka mahata, because a wise man thou art. Wayadata et atrata ashelo, and thou shalt know what thou shalt do to him. Wohoradata et shevato v'dam Sheol, and thou shalt bring down his grey hair in blood to Sheol. Vayishkav David imahavotai, and David slept with his fathers. Vayikaber be'ir David, and he was buried in the city of David. Wahayamim atar malach David al Yisrael arba'im shana, and the days which David was king over Yisrael were 40 years. Behebron malach sheva shanim, in Hebron he was king 7 years. Uviyerushalayim malach thalothim wathaloth shanim, and in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years. Ushlomo yathab al kiseh David aviu, and Shlomo sat upon the throne of David his father. Watikon malakuto mod, and his kingdom was established exceedingly. Wayavo Adoniyahu ben Haggith el Bathsheba em Shlomo, and Adoniyahu the son of Haggith came to Bathsheba the mother of Shlomo. Watomer Hashalom boheka, and she said, is thy coming peace? Wayomer Shalom, and he said, peace. Wayomer davar li elayik, and he said, a word is for me to thee. Watomer daber, and she said, word thou. Wayomer at yadat ki li hayata hamluka, and he said, thou hast known that the kingdom was for me. وعلي شاموا كل إسرائيل بنيهم لملوك, and upon me all Yisrael set their faces to be king. What is Hamluka, and the kingdom turned about. What tahila achiu, and it was for my brother. Ki me Yahweh hayatalo, because from Yahweh it was for him. Wa'ata she'ela ahat anoki shoel mehitak, and now one request, I am one requesting from with thee. Alata thibi etapanau, turn thou not away my faces. Watomer helai daber, and she said to him, word thou. Wayomer, and he said, Imri nah lishalomo hamelech, say thou now to Shlomo the king, Ki lo yathib et panaik, because he shall not turn away thy faces. V'yiten li et habishag hashunamit lehitha, and let him give to me Abishag the Shunamite for a woman. Watomer Bathsheba Tob, and Bathsheba said, good. Anoki adaber aleka elhamelech, I will speak for thee to the king. Watabo Bathsheba elhamelech Shlomo ledaber lo al Adoniyahu. And Bathsheba came to the king Shlomo to word to him on account of Adoniyahu. Wayaqam hammelech liqrahatwah, and the king arose to meet her. Wayishtahu lah, and he bowed down to her. Wayethab ala kiso, and he sat upon his throne. Wayashem kiseh lehem hamelech, and he set a throne for the mother of the king. Watethab liyamino, and she sat toward his right side. Watomer she'ela ahat qatana anoki shoelet meitak alatatheb et panai, and she said, one small request I am one asking from with thee. Turn thou not away my faces. Wayomer Allah hamelech shalihim, and the king said to her, ask thou, my mother, Ki lo hathib et panayik, for I shall not turn thy faces away. Watomer yutan et habishag hashunamit, and she said, let Abishag the Shunamite be given. Lahadoniyahu achika lehitha, for Adoniyahu thy brother, for a woman. Wayaghan hamelech Shlomo, and the king Shlomo responded, Wayomer lehimo, and he said to his mother, Walamah Ata shohelet et habishag hashunamit lahadoniyahu, and for what art thou one asking Abishag the Shunamit for Adoniyahu? Washahli lo, et hamluka, and ask thou for him the kingdom. Ki hu achi hagadol mimani, because he is the big brother of mine more than me. My brother, the one big more than me. V'lo uleheviatar hakohen uleyoab ben Zeruiah, and for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Vayeshava HaMelech Shlomo b'Yahweh, and the king Shlomo swore himself by Yahweh, saying, Ko ya'asher li Elohim v'ko Yosef ki b'nafsho diber Adoniyahu et hadavar hadeh. Thus may God do to me, and thus may he add, that Adoniyahu by his soul hath worded this word. Wa'ata hayah wa'atar hakinani wayothivani ala kisse David habi wa'atar ashali bait katar dibber ki hayom yumat Adoniyahu. And now, as Yahweh liveth, which hath established me, and he hath caused me to sit upon the throne of David my father, and which hath effectuated for me a house like what he hath spoken, that today Adoniyahu shall be put to death. Vayishlach HaMelech Shlomo b'yad Benayahu ben Yehoiada, and the king Shlomo sent by the hand of Benayahu the son of Jehoiada, Vayifga'abo Vayamot, and he confronted him, and he died. Ulahabiatar hakohen amar HaMelech, and to Abiathar the priest the king said, Anatot lech al Shadaka. Go thou to Anatot upon thy fields. Ki Ishamawat hata, because a man of death thou art. Wabayom hadeh lo hamitaka, but in this day I shall not put thee to death. Ki nashata et haron Adonai Yahweh lifnei David havi, because thou hast carried the ark of the Lord Yahweh before David my father, Wiki hitranita b'kol atar hitrana avi, and because thou hast afflicted thyself in all which my father afflicted himself. Vayigaresh Shlomo et Abiathar mihiyot kohen leYahweh, and Shlomo drove out Abiathar from being priest to Yahweh. Lemale et devar Yahweh, to fulfill the word of Yahweh. Atar diber ala bet Eli b'Shilo, which he had worded over the house of Eli in Shiloh. Wahashemu Abba ad Yoab, and the report, or the thing heard, came as far as Joab. Ki Joab nata achare Adoniyah, wa achare Abshalom lo nata. Now Joab had inclined after Adonijah, but after Absalom he had not inclined. Wayanos Joab el ohel Yahweh. And Joab fled to the tent of Yahweh. Wayahazek bekarnot hamizbeh. And he grasped by the horns of the altar. Wayugad lamelech Shlomo ki nas Yoab el ohel Yahweh v'hinne es el hamidbeh. And it was told to the king Shlomo that Joab had fled to the tent of Yahweh, and behold him beside the altar. וישלח שלמה את בניהו בן יהוידע לאמור לך פגע בו. And Shlomo sent Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, saying, Go thou, encounter upon him, or fall upon him. Vayavo Benaiah el ohel Yahweh. And Benaiah came to the tent of Yahweh. Vayomer Eli ko amar hamelech sheh. And he said to him, Thus the king hath said, Come thou out. Vayomer lo ki po amut. And he said, No, for here I would die. Vayathab Benaiah et hamelech dabar lemor, ko diber Joab, v'ko Hanani. And Benaiah returned the king a word, saying, Thus Joab worded, and thus he answered me. Vayomer lo hamelech asher kater diber. And the king said to him, Effectuate thou like what he worded, upega abo, ukbarato, and fall upon him, and bury thou him. Wahasirota demehinam, ater shafach Joab, me'alai, ume'al bet habi. And thou shalt turn away the bloods of gratuitousness which Joab poured out from upon me and from upon the house of my father. V'heti b'Yahweh et damo al rosho, and Yahweh shall return his blood upon his head. Ater paga b'thne hanashim tzadikim v'tovim mimenu v'yahargem b'herb, which he fell upon the two of the men righteous and good more than he, and he killed them by means of the sword. Wahabi David lo yada, and my father David had not known. Et Abner ben Ner shar shabah Yisrael. Abner, the son of Ner, the prince of the host of Yisrael, with Amashah ben Yeter shar shabah Yehuda, and Amashah, the son of Yeter, the prince of the host of Yehuda. With Abu the Mehem Barosh Joab, and their bloods shall return upon the head of Joab, Ubarosh Zara'o L'olam, and upon the head of his seed for unseen time. Ule David, ule Zara'o, ule Beto, ule Kiso, Yehye Shalom, ad olam, me'im Yahweh. And for David, and for his seed, and for his house, and for his throne shall be peace, as far as unseen time from with Yahweh. وَيَعْلَ بَنَايَهُ ben Yehoiada, and Benayahu the son of Jehoiada went up. وَيَفْغَعَبُ وَيَمِتَهُ, and he encountered upon him, and he killed him. وَيَقَابَرْ بَبَيْتُ بَمِدْبَارٍ, and he buried in his house in the wilderness. وَيِتَّنْ هَمَّلَكَ et Benayahu ben Jehoiada tahatau al hashabah, and the king gave Benayahu the son of Jehoiada in his place over the host. وَإِتْ صَادُوقَ HaKohen Nathan HaMelech tahat Abiathar, and Zadok the priest the king gave in place of Abiathar. وَيِشْلَحْ HaMelech وَيِقْرَهْ لِشِمْعِي, and the king sent, and he called for Shimei. وَيَوْمَرَ lo, and he said to him, B'nei leka bayit b'Yerushalem, build thou for thee a house in Jerusalem. وَيَثَبْتَ tham, and thou shalt dwell in it. وَلَا تَتَجَهْ مِثَامْ عَنْهُ وَهَانَا, and thou shalt not go out from there hither or thither, to this where or to that where. وَهَيَا بِيُومِ شِهْتِكَ, and it shall be in the day of thy going out. وَعَبَرْتَ et نَحَلْ قِدْرُونَ, and thou pass the brook Kidron. Yado ateda ki mot tamut, knowingly thou shalt know that dyingly thou shalt die. Dammaka yihye beroshaka, thy blood shall be in thy head. Wayomer Shimei lamelech tov hadabar, and Shimei said to the king, the word is good. Katra dibber Adoni Hamelech ken yashe abdaka, like what my lord the king hath worded, thus thy servant shall effectuate. Wayeth b'Shimei b'Yerushalem yamim rabbim, and Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. Wayahi miqeth thaloth shanim, and it was from the end of 3 years. Wayeverhu thne abadim l'Shimei el Hakish ben Ma'aka melech Gat, and the 2 servants for Shimei fled to Achish son of Ma'akah, king of Gat. Wayagidu l'Shimei, and it was told to Shimei, Lemor, saying, Hinne abadaka begat, behold, thy servants are in Get. Wayaqam Shimei, and Shimei arose. Wayahabosh et Hamoro, and he saddled his donkey. Wayelech Gata, and he went to Get. El Hakish, to Achish, Levakesh et Avadai, to search, to seek his servants. Wayelech Shimei, and Shimei went. Wayabeh et Avadai miget, and he brought his servants from Get. Wayugad l'Shalomo, and it was told to Shalomo, Ki halak Shimei miYerushalem get Wayathob. That Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Geth and had returned. ويشلح الملك ويقرأ لشمعي. And the king sent, and he called for Shimei. ويؤمر إليه. And he said to him, Hello, Hishba'atika b'Yahweh. Is it not that I caused thee to swear an oath by means of Yahweh? Wa'id b'ka le'amor. And I testified against thee, saying, B'yom she'etaka wa'halakta hane wa'ana yado'ateda ki mot tamut. In the day of thy going forth, and thy going to this where or to that where, knowingly thou shalt know that dyingly thou shalt die. Watomer Elai Tov Hadavar Shama'ati. And thou saidst to me, The word is good, I have heard. ومدوا lo shamarta et shuvu'at Yahweh. And why hast thou not kept the oath of Yahweh? وَإِتَهَمْ مِثْوَى أَتْرَسِوِيتِ عَلَكَ. And the command which I have commanded upon thee. وَيُؤْمِرْ هَمَّلَكَ إِلَى شِمْعِي. And the king said to Shimei, أَتَى يَدَعْتَ إِتْ كُلْ هَرَّعَ أَتْرْ يَدَعْ لَبَابَكَ. Thou hast known all the evil which thy heart hath known. Atr ashita leDavid Avi, which thou effectuatedst to David my father. Weheti Yahweh et ra'ataka baroshaka. And Yahweh shall return thy evil in thy head. Wahammelech Shlomo Baruch. And the king Shlomo be blessed. Wikise David Yehye Nachon Lipnei Yahweh Ad Olam. And the throne of David shall be established before Yahweh unto unseen time. Wayithau Hamelech et Benayahu ben Jehoiada. And the king commanded Benayahu the son of Jehoiada, Wayesheh, Wayifga'abo, Wayamot. And he went out, and he fell upon him, and he died. Wahammamlaka nakona, Biyad Shlomo. And the kingdom was established in the hand of Shlomo.